My name is Ray. Thanks you for joining me today, Stefano. You play bass, correct, in Aborted.
That's correct. Thank you. Thank you
Awesome.
for the opportunity.
Oh no, thank you for taking some time. I know we're at a different time zone here a little bit, so it's
Oh,
a
are
night.
we?
Yeah,
Okay. Where you from?
I'm in Texas.
Texas. All right. So it's that like 8 hours, I think? No.
Yeah, about
Oh,
that. Yeah,
okay. Wow. Okay. That's
yeah. It's only
interesting. Yeah.
lunchtime here right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna take like too much time away from your lunchtime, so
Oh yeah, no,
apologies in advance.
no, it's good. I already ate earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome. Good to
got all
know.
that done with. But exciting things going on for Aborted. You have a new album coming out, ManiaCult, in little less than a month on September 10th. That's going to be exciting for you.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the album finally being out, and like for all the fans to like get it and listen to it, because we put so much energy and work into that, and we're just really excited like for the album to finally get out there and be listened to from all the fans out there. So yeah.
Well, is there a specific reason for the title of ManiaCult? Is it just something the band sees as happening worldwide, or is there anything something specific?
I think it's a little combination of both things you just said. We, like, uh, pretty much like it with retro gore and Terrorvision. We kind of like the idea of keeping up with the trend of the one word title, which at the same time like combine a little bit of wordplay, like retro and gore, of course, like kind of summing up ideas of like retro art and video games and all that kind of stuff, and gore, of course, 'cause that was also a core element of the album, the concept, and the same thing with her vision. But and with maniacal, we just thought it was a very catchy word, but at the same time, it could sum up the lyrical concept beyond the album, and also what was going on at the time of the writing and recording sessions, and also we kind of like reverse engineer the story, the backstory of the album, starting from the character Waylon that was thought of, designed just as an action figure, and at a later stage, which just gave him like a little bit of context and backstory. So we, like walk back to, from this little toy figure, and we wanted to make him evil and insane as possible. So that
Yeah.
was pretty much the story behind the title. And
Yeah, very cool. So, I remember Sven had answered some questions. I think it was like April of last year about the previous EP that you had released, and that one, he had mentioned a little bit that some of those lyrically was about some mental health, and of course, being
right.
manipulated about whether if it's the government in general or just the population in general. For this album, does that kind of continue? In that same maybe type of lyrical content, or is this completely different and is on to maybe new topics?
Yeah, you're right. It's a little bit of a continuation with what we started with Vision already, but I mean, spent lyrically went into real detail with the last EP, La Grande Masquerade. But now it's kind of about what goes on, like outside the musical realm. So not just the COVID situation, but the whole like media frenzy, and the fact that it literally just takes a couple influential people to just kind of steer, like determine the mindset of of us people, and So it's kind of about like maniacal. If you saw the video, it's kind of a ironic like play on that. It's about the way we can or we cannot filter what we you know just um, come across in terms of media and knowledge and information in general. But at the same time, it's also lyrically speaking about the personal, like totally personal insanity of this Wayland figure, the maniac of the ManiaCult, that just conjures up Lovecraft and demons, and makes all this ritual just to call all those monsters back from the dead. Well, actually, it's only going on inside his head. So
Yeah, very cool. And speaking, I guess it kind of fits the. You've had three singles so far released, and which the most recent one was just a few days ago for ManiaCult, which
yeah, that's
those
right.
all of them have been different as the video aspect of it. And one of the questions that I had was for Impetus Odie. How did that concept come about for that video?
Well, we work with G13 for the like videography and the concept behind the video, and they suggest that sort of something sort of like like a Barnum Freak show kind of thing, but with the religious element embedded in the video. So we thought of the brainwash kind of rhetoric, and really not just in Christianity, but I think takes place in most monotheistic religions. And of course, we just wanted to push a little bit the gore aspects. That's kind of a trademark of the band visually, like artwork wise and stage production too when it comes to live shows. So it was a kind of a mutual process in terms of brainstorming with the video team, and I think things went pretty well with them. They exactly knew what we wanted to represent with the video, and it matches perfectly the concept and the song, the lyrical concept in the song too.
Yeah. Now, for something like that, like I know like a lyrical video. I mean, those can be put out pretty quickly. How long did it take to actually film that video? I mean, because it's pretty in depth, like getting all the special effects and everything, to the way
Right.
you want.
No, it's a right observation, and I think the shooting it was pretty quick because Sven flew in from Belgium to Poland, where the director and the actors were based, and it took them a day because there wasn't really much time to get things going, and of course there was a little bit of a kind of a lot of post production after the video shooting, but the shooting per se, it was I think the whole thing was shot in 8 to 10 hours in a single day, which it might sound like a lot, but if you think in terms of the visuals and the editing and the kind of the whole the different scenes that you actually see taking place in the video, it's not really that much time. And like I said, the guys knew exactly what we wanted to convey in terms of, as a message with the video. I think that made the whole like process a lot easier. But yeah, I would say that the overall shooting kind of took like a day. Yeah,
That's
and of
not
course
too.
a little bit of a back and forth, like um, communication before the video, of course. But that was done very smoothly on email. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, your latest single was Mania Cult, and I have to ask some of those topics. I mean, some of those headlines. How many of them were true?
So like I mean the contents I just want to stress, like for Mark, that everything's fake. That just in case someone's wondering. But I would say most of them are made up. So
Yeah.
like we have of course the band chat, and the band chat when Sven was like, okay, let's just come up with the most stupid shit, like, and the most ridiculous stuff that you guys can think of. So we kind of went back and forth and exchanged like our craziest ideas. Oh, would that be silly as a fake title, as a fake headline, and all that kind of stuff. And some of them actually we kind of capitalize on, all those theories that we, like see circulating on social media. So it was just kind of a tongue-in-cheek pun. So yeah, we took them and possibly like made them even more stupid.
Yeah.
That's kind of our specialty. I'm proud to say that I'm proud. I like to think that we actually succeeded in make like something stupid even more stupid. So
Yeah. Well, and it was funny because I was noticing like you run into some weird stuff all the time, like on just the internet, and you're like, I think I seen this topic before.
oh, dude, yeah, yeah. It never stops.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It's so there's so much stuff going on, and it's really hard to like what would have been like. We had so many ideas, so many headlines that we just really need to, like kind of narrow them down. So yeah,
Yeah. And it's kind of almost like a perfect fitting for that song, the title, Mania Cult, to
yeah,
where you're right. It people are just willing to believe anything blindly, and it's almost like a cult mentality.
exactly. It's just the whole like like the cult narrative and the fear, like I said, the fear of the maniac, and of course it's inspired like visually and graphically from on it's based on Lovecraftian horror and 80s slasher horror movies, but at the same time, it's also a metaphor for what really is going on, and not just externally, but also internally as an individual. So we have this really crazy guy who just wants to kill everyone and had, like everyone join his cult, but in reality, and like in the end, it's just everything is going inside his head. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Pretty nuts. Now, to talk about the album itself, uh, do you feel that during this downtime, because of course there was no touring, that kind of gave you time to polish this to where up the ante to make it better than some of the previous efforts?
Well, I like to think so, but what I'm really certain of is that we took our time to write the album. I know a lot of people might think, and they're probably right, that we do as a band like write a lot of music, release a lot of music. If you think about it, Television was released September 2018, and less than 2 years after that, we put out the EP. And now it's 2021, and it's already like three singles out, and in a couple of weeks the new album will be out. So we, yeah, we do release a lot of music, but with the album, we did want to take our time, and as soon as the whole like lockdowns were, like active pretty much all over the world. And there's not just an exaggeration with the band because, we have Ken and Ian that are based in the United States in California, and Sven, of course, from Belgium. I live in Italy. So that also gave us an opportunity to, like work on the riffs. Ken practically wrote most of the album, if not like all of the album. But the whole arrangement and then brainstorming and bouncing ideas off of each other, that went pretty well. We were kind of at first a little bit worried because we originally wanted to like meet a week or two before the actual recording sessions, just to practice the songs, see what worked and what didn't, and of course that was impossible. So we just had to work really meticulously on single riff, on the single arrangement, and we spent like could finally like record his vocals in multiple sessions. Otherwise, it would have had to like sing 4 to 5 songs in a single day. That can take like a kind of a bad toll on your voice. So we just kind of relaxed at the same time, but worked really hard on all those ideas. And like you said, we polished them until they sounded, at least to us, perfect. Like till a point that we were like, okay, we don't really think that we can change anything further in the song, in this riff. This exactly works, and that was also made kind of easy by Cole, our sound engineer, who's been working with us for quite a few records now, and he knows us well. He knows what we want in terms of sound production, and especially with this album, we kind of wanted to go a little bit back to the like the heaviness of early Aborted, but also albums like the Incredible Manifesto. So we just wanted to give a little more prominence to the riff as a concept, And of course, there's also a lot of technical passages in them. I think there's a song or two in the album they have not been released yet, that are kind of 320 BPM, so that's crazy fast. So there's a lot of songs that do sound very technical, but I would say the main difference from Terrorvision or Retro War is that the album gave a little bit of a priority to atmosphere and darkness and heaviness. Not that we wanted to privilege technicality for technicality's sake, the previous two records, but I think it was more of a natural like trend, more of a like a spontaneous thing rather than just like a pre-planned, like pre-designed thing. Okay, let's write the most notey or technical song, like difficult songs possible. That came pretty natural with songs like Exquisite Colors Drama on Terrorvision and Final Absolution, Terrorvision as well, or Cadaver's Banquet from Retro War. But with this album, like I said, if you listen to ManiaCult, like the latest single released, that the opening riff that goes on for a while. So we just wanted fans to hear and kind of go back and cherish the riff. So like, something to really headbang to.
Yeah, trying to. I guess it gave me time to because I've heard other musicians talk about to where you wrote something musically, you want it to be memorable to where people are able to recall it, and whether they
Right.
hum along when you're finally live, or whatever it is, but something to where once you've listened to it a few times, you're listening to it in your head afterwards.
Absolutely. You don't want to confuse your fans, or like you don't want them to feel lost in the middle of something, like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, I can't really hear what's going on in terms of like structures or notes or all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you said it. You're
Yeah.
right.
So for bass lines for yourself, uh did you try to do anything differently, whether either technique wise or maybe just branch out into bringing maybe other influences into the writing?
I think with this record in particular, I just wanted to lock in with the drums as tight as possible, like, and follow the main melodic line with guitar wise. What I would say with Her Vision had kind of, I wouldn't really say experiment because it's still death metal, but
Yeah.
pretty straightforward death metal. But with this record in particular, I just wanted to focus on the tonic aspect of the line, just bring the groove and the heavy, so that the riff could stand out, and at the same time, like I said, locking with the drums and the whole like wall of sound be pushed forward rather than just add in a little, weird frequencies that would kind of mess with the overall mix of the song and the record. And at the same time, you can hear Spanish vocals like stand out amidst all the the musical like structure of the song. So that was I think that was a kind of a well thought out process. And I would say it was a very straightforward kind of recording, and I tried to follow the guitar as much as possible. Maybe adding a little bit of like a couple tappings, just to add a little like gummy, like rubbery kind of feel with the bass. The couple of songs specifically, but yeah, I didn't really add too much stuff, Otherwise, like I said, it would have been a mess to work with, especially for our song guy. So I just wanted to, of course, give the rest of the music, song structure, priority over, like any crazy or fancy bass line.
Yeah. Now, for your rig, do you use like a lot of pedals or effects or anything, or are you pretty straightforward?
I would say like a little bit of both. Live, I don't really have an amp or a cabinet. I do have a few pedals, dark glass pedal and two dark glass pedals actually, and then I think EBS, like compression. And but when it comes to like when it comes to recording, it's all the sound engineer like wizardry, because all I do is just because we reamp guitar and bass, so we usually record with a tone that might make the job easier during the recording session, but in the end it's the sound engineer that kind of decides what tone to use, and he does that by reamping the clean signal that we send him to process. And I was very happy with the result, because while the bass is of course a little dirty and distorted, it still kind of kept that clarity that you need to actually hear the notes. So I think it was a very good compromise.
Yeah. Now, do you also play any other musical instruments to where when you're writing, a new album, you can kind of bring some ideas to the table?
When that happens, I'll be honest, that hasn't really happened a lot to me lately. But I kind of focus on like on my job pretty much, and I just want I trust Ken so much that I kind of involuntarily like give him full creative control. But yeah, I would say like sometimes pick up the guitar and try and come up with a few riffs, or just write them down directly on softwares like Guitar Pro. When you would just kind of mentally like visualize and hear the notes, so you just note them down, write them down, and see what they actually sound like. But of course, the danger with that, risk with that, is that you might write like a cool riff that's kind of impossible to play. Then you'd be like, okay, so I came up with this. It sounds pretty cool, but doesn't really feel natural. But I like the riff, so I really want to play it. So
Yeah, I guess that's the danger too. Sometimes with technical death metal, or playing, you got to be precise.
oh,
You know,
exactly.
you have to make it to where you're enjoying what you're playing, but also to where it's going to be playable when you got to play it live.
I fully agree. Yeah, exactly.
So I guess that brings up the idea. It's like for warm up for yourself. Before you do go out on stage, do you take quite a bit of time to warm up?
Um, Also depends on like the weather, because if it's if it's pretty cold, even inside the venue, you really need to warm up like physically. So you start playing a lot, otherwise you just freeze on stage and your hands don't move, and it's really hard to uh, play all those riffs tight. But yeah, I would say probably 15 to 30 minutes, like half hour total, up till, I would say 20 minutes before getting on stage. The like I just want to keep at least like a good 15 minutes for myself. Maybe I'm like physically holding the bass, but not really like playing too much because I just want to relax a little bit. Otherwise, I would overthink the particular song or riff, and that would make me even more nervous. So yeah, I do warm up a little bit, but when it's kind of approaching time to getting on stage, just like relax a little bit and chat with the guys and you know chill.
Yeah. Now, do you also, because I mean the music that you're playing is very demanding. Do you also maybe do like a cool down after you've done playing a set to where, and because you got to keep your hands and your wrists and all that healthy.
That's a very smart observation. I should probably do that, and as a matter of fact, sometimes it happens because that kind of reminds me of all the jokes that I, like say with the our light technician. That sometimes at the end, like of everything, when like everything is almost packed, you ready to go, loaded back into the bus. I was still like playing a little bit, and they were like, "Yeah, aren't you tired? Like, have you played like 2 hours now?" But that's right. It kind of feels natural, like to rather than kind of rather than stop abruptly and all of a sudden after you play 60, 70 minutes worth of real fast death metal. Uh, Sometimes it's kind of healthy, like you said, and healthy just rethink songs over a little bit, even like slower, just to like accompany the hand movement back to rest, rather than just like close it all together.
Right. Yeah, and I was just thinking about, I mean, because it's like vigorous exercise. I mean, because your hands and the fingers are all over the place to go from like
That's
full
pretty much
blast,
it.
yeah, full blast. That thing is like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I just need to like de-escalate a little bit. No, that's cool actually. What you
Yeah.
said.
Now, I mean, of course, you have the new album coming out on the 10th. Are you going to be? Is there going to be another single release like right as the album drops?
Uh, Probably yes,
Yeah.
but I can't really say much more. Or probably I can. I don't know, but yeah, there's gonna be
Yeah.
a little more taste, a little bit of a um, there's gonna be a single thing for the actual release, but then that's it. Because otherwise we would just we would be putting out all the album and kill the hype. But do
Right.
expect some really crazy stuff.
Yeah. Have y'all, getting to, transition to the topic of touring, have y'all played in any of these festivals that have been going on?
Uh, like if we manage to play some shows, you mean?
Yeah. I know there's some
Uh,
Europe happening that were y'all able to join those?
no, like tours of I mean not really tours, more of like single festivals or
Yeah.
single shows. They're kind of back. Um, a little less than that what's happening in the States, as I could see. But as a band for us, it's really difficult to just go out there and play like 2, 3 shows or just 1 or 2 festival appearances because we live pretty much scattered all over the world. So we need
Yeah.
to every time we meet up, it needs to be for at least a good run of dates. So I think that's gonna happen next year only,
Yeah.
and that'll be for the European headline tour with the Acacia Strain, The Night and His Divinity, and Floody Melty. And so we're also working to go back to North America. Ideally, I would say summer, early fall 2022, probably. Let's see, because we do really we do really want to go back to the States and Canada, because every time we go there, it's we really have so much so much fun. And like you live in Texas, but and every time we're in Austin or Dallas, it's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that you that tour that you have scheduled in February, uh, and that's actually a good idea because that at least gives you time to prepare for it. I mean, even here in the
Right.
States, we're having concerts just canceled left and right, or bands are dropping off tours.
There you go. Because we originally scheduled that tour for I think it was September, October, something like that. So that would have been really, really hard to pull off. Because the alternative, we spoke to the promoter before actually agreeing with postponing the tour. The alternative was, okay, we might or might not play the show, or reduce, like capacity, but that would take a toll on, everyone's income, the bands, the promoters, and ultimately the fans would be the only one, like uh, paying kind of the damages of it, because we would have to sell like merch at a higher price, and we don't want to do that.
Right.
And we would hate the promoter to, like lose money over a show, just because it needs to go on. So rather than have like 100 people rather than 1,000, and all of them sitting down. I mean, of course, if that's what it takes for a show to happen right now, so be it. I'm all about it. But personally, I'd rather just wait a little longer, but go back to kind of a pre-COVID normal situation. And of course that also gives a little more time to everyone to get fully vaccinated, and because our top priority is to everyone. We want everyone to feel safe, be safe, feel safe. So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
that was I think the most logical thing to do, and postpone the tour until next year. Hopefully things will be really, really back to normal. But yeah, let's
Man,
see.
yeah. Hopefully, we can keep our fingers and toes crossed.
And dude, exactly. It's all a kind of a day by day like process. You can't really make plans. That's the thing I really hate the most about the whole life situation right now. But
Yeah,
yeah, you got to
yeah.
do what you got to do.
Of course. Now, for yourself, what is it that you miss the most about touring?
Everything, man, everything. I even got to a point where I miss out on like there's no sleep times. The whole like bed like transportate like logistics of it. You get to a place, you play, and then you go back to the hotel, and then maybe like wake up at 3 a.m. because you have another flight next day at 6 a.m. So I miss that even. I miss that too, but most, I would say, the reaction of the fans and the ability, like to literally travel the world and do the thing I like the most. So those are the two things, and of course, like getting to play uh, new music, new and old music to the fans. Those are the things that I miss the most, of course,
Yeah,
as I think like everyone else.
yeah. I know what you're saying because here some concerts that start popping up, and it's you're going back out and you get to see people that you haven't seen in a while.
Dude, yeah, exactly. It
Whether
feels it feels like ages, which it is. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just recently saw Lamb of God, Megadeth, Hatebreed, and Trivium, and those guys are like it's been like 2 years since the last time they played.
how was it? Because I saw the tour, but
Oh yeah,
I yeah.
yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Yeah, if I don't know if they'll use that same lineup, if they head to Europe or across the sea, but yeah, it was great. Dave Mustaine sounded awesome. I mean,
Oh,
it,
that's
yeah, it was
that's
great.
good to know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he looked healthy, played great. I mean,
That's great. That's
the
great, man.
sound
That's
was
great.
awesome. Yeah, it was good. It was good to see him, playing live again. So, it was
Heck
awesome.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So, another thing that I wanted to ask is, of course, you got the album coming out. What are some of the things that fans can kind of help support Aborted right now?
Just listen to the album, pre-order the album if you haven't yet. But anything helps, man. Literally,
Yeah,
listen to a song, share it on Facebook, or just send it to another friend. Just or listen to Spotify, buy a shirt, like and literally anything helps. As long as it gets the band's music like circulating a little bit, and of course because first with sales still matter a lot in terms of tour deals and all that kind of stuff. But and because those are really times that you know I don't really like the idea of pushing the buy the album kind of agenda or message. So even just Facebook post or Instagram story repost that really helps. So
yeah, yeah, and it doesn't cost anybody anything to do that.
exactly, and of course they would have to do that only if they like the music, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they will. So there's not a
Well,
problem, right?
they got to do it anyway. Just make them do it.
Exactly. Just otherwise, Waylon's gonna get you and like make you join the cult. So
That's right. And you don't want that.
no, no, trust me, you don't want, you don't.
So before we finish up, Stefano, is there anything else that you would like to, say to the fans, or any closing comments?
uh, just thank you so much for your incredible reaction because we the feedback that we got out of those three songs have been incredible, and the numbers have really steadily like going up more and more. So it's just so cool that after so many years, you see a lot of those fans still care so much, and that's just gives us so much motivation that you can imagine that. So like really, thank you all for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's only been 26 years. You still got Aborted still got a long ways to go.
At least 30 more, I would say.
There you go until you retire.
Dude, yeah.
All right. Well, Stefano, again, thank you very much for your time. Stay safe out there.
Thank
And,
you.
I
Thank
know
you
you
so
got
much.
the tour in February. So maybe in the States, we get to see you in the summer or the fall.
Yeah, hopefully next year. Positive that's gonna happen. So
Awesome. Well,
and if we're in Texas, just like give us a call and put you on the list. So
hell yeah.
that'll be nice.
Yeah. If it's in Texas, I'll make it out.
Of course.
All right. You take care. Appreciate it.
You too, man.
Bye.